All right, guys, this is our first quiz study guide for our chemistry unit, which is the introduction to matter. If you recall, we talked about what chemistry is, and that is the study of the properties of matter and how matter changes. We've talked so far about the fact that matter is anything that takes up space and has weight. If you recall, in the classroom, we talked about your desk, your chair, your body, pencils, pens, anything that you can touch or feel and has some weight to it, it is matter. We also talked about what matter is made of. And we used the example of the Legos and building blocks. Does anyone remember what we call those building blocks of matter? If you said atoms, you are correct. Atoms are the smallest things in the world. You can't see them. Masai, I'm talking to you. You can't see them. You need a very high-powered microscope to see them. Atoms make up all the matter in the world. Everything that you can see and that you can touch is made up of atoms. Atoms are everywhere. Think of our song, the Atoms song. Atoms are in everything that you touch. So again, we said if it takes up space and it has weight, it's matter, and matter is made up of atoms. And we talked about the fact that there are about 100 different kinds of atoms. Now, the parts of the atoms, if you remember, we had our Matterville story and the nucleus arcade. The nucleus is the center of the atom. And who likes to hang out in the center of the atom? Well, two girls like to hang out in the center of the atom, if you recall. Patty Proton, who has the positive symbol, and Nelda Neutron, who really does not have any kind of a charge. She's just a neutral kind of person. She has a zero charge. So Nelda Neutron and Patty Proton like to hang here in the nucleus, or the center of the atom. Now, circling all around the atom is Elliott electron. If you recall, Elliott electron has that negative charge. He's not very happy because he can't get into the middle of the nucleus right here. He wants in here, so he flies around the nucleus. He's flying around. So Elliott electrons have negative charges. Patty Proton has a positive charge, and Nelda Neutron has a negative charge. Now, we did some Adams family math, or atomic math, and what I want you to remember is that you need to know the names of these different sections here. The atomic number is this top number in our boxes, in our atom boxes. The name of the atom is written out in full force there. The symbol is the abbreviation. All right? And the atomic mass is our bottom number. How much space is it taking up? So one of the things that you need to know for some of the atomic math challenges that we did was you needed to understand that the atomic number, which is this number up here at the top, equals how many protons or electrons are in the atom. So the atomic number, this number here, tells me the number of protons and the number of electrons. The atomic mass, which is This bottom number tells me the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. So in order to get this atomic mass number, it's like a math problem. So it's atomic mass, which I'm going to abbreviate as AM, equals protons plus neutrons. That is a math formula. We talked about a math formula is like a recipe. It helps us figure out exactly what we need to make up a certain amount. So let's try this because this will be on your test. We would be asked to label some things. Up here, this number is our atomic number. This is called the symbol. You're right if you said symbol. Now, can anyone tell me what the name of this atom is? If you said oxygen, oops, Miss Call, I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm not spelling correctly. Oxygen, you are correct. And then this number here is our atomic mass. So if we need to fill in our box down here, our atomic number equals, say it with me. Oops. Yep, if you said atomic mass equals 8, you are correct. Now the atomic mass, the bottom number, equals 15.999. So how many protons do we have? If you go back and think, we said that the atomic number equals the number of protons or electrons. So the number of protons is 8, and we also now know that the number of electrons is 8. So what we don't know is the number of neutrons, and we just have to write that formula out, which is atomic mass equals the number of, we're going to start that over again, guys. Ms. Call's computer had a little glitch there. The number of neutrons, the way to figure that out is we say atomic mass minus protons equals neutrons. So if I take my numbers and I put in the number I have for atomic mass, which is 15.999 minus the number of protons that I have, which is 8, that will give me the number of neutrons. So I'm going to figure it out. You will get to use your calculator on the test, but I will just go ahead and subtract it this way. So 15.999 minus 8.000. 9 minus 0 is 0, 9 rather, 9 minus 0 is 9, and 9 minus 0 is 9. And we know that 15 minus 8 is 7. So the number of neutrons in oxygen is 7.999. You want to go over and review this, so stop this video, go back and practice it. Write some out on the paper, look in your book how we did it, because this will be on the test. All right, last thing that we talked about was what are atoms and elements. Atoms, we said, are the smallest unit of an element. They're the bricks that make up a building, and if we talk about this, We made our own buildings here. And each block represents one atom, one kind of atom. So here we only have the red atoms. So this whole substance right here, this whole substance is made up of one kind of atom, and we would call this an element. So let's go back to our definition. An element is a substance made of only one kind of atom. Then you guys thought I was a little nutty. Oops, I'm sorry, before we get to the nutty part. This was our periodic table of elements. And remember, we talked about the fact that there are approximately 100, now exactly 102 elements, but approximately 100 is what I was asking you to remember. What I showed you this page, we talked about compound words. And the reason I brought this up was not because we were doing language arts, but because we talked about the fact that in a compound word, you take two separate words. For example, bed and room. And they mean two totally different things, but when we put them together, they mean a third thing there. When you put them together, you have a compound word, two smaller words that, when put together, makes up a brand new word. In science, a compound is formed by combining two or more elements. So again, a compound is formed by combining two or more elements. We talked about one compound a lot, which was salt. And we said that salt is made up of two elements. One element being chlorine, and the other one being sodium. Separately, they are two different things, gas and a solid. But when we put them together, like they are here, they form another solid, which is salt, table salt, like we use on our food. All right, guys, play this video over several times. This is your study guide for your quiz, your first chemistry quiz. I want you also to study your Quizlet vocabulary words. Good luck on the test.